Hello, everyone. I hope this day is going the way you like it. My name is Fabiola Baughman. I'm a shamanic practitioner and guardian of sacred wisdom from the Andes. My purpose is to share the wisdom of Mother Earth and the spirits of the mountains. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, I was initially a scientist, a biologist, and I went on a journey to Peru in 2018, and I started communicating with the spirits of the mountains, and it really changed my life and took it in a different direction. So today I dedicate my time to help people learn and change their lives in a way that is more aligned with the principles of indigenous culture, more going back to basics, living more in harmony with Mother Earth. So a lot of my day goes by communicating with the spirits of the mountains and especially Pachamama, Mother Earth. And I wanted to have a conversation with her about different things that I wanted to have answers. And as I began this conversation, she and her wisdom took me in an entirely different direction. There were truths that she wanted to remind us of, fundamental truth about existence that as humans we have seemed to have forgotten. So let's get started. She just began by saying, dear children, please do not fight against each other anymore. And this is something that she's been repeating over and over and over every time I have a conversation with her. And specifically this time, she wanted to talk abundance. And she said that her abundance is meant for all of us to share. And she said also, you think in terms of borders and greed, she continued, but my abundance belongs to all of you. So, and I understood where she was coming from. So I asked her, how do we reconcile this truth with the system that we have built, like governments and borders and policies that are meant to protect the national resources of a country, right? And she had a very interesting response. And she said, it is true that not everything is abundant everywhere, right? Different regions have abundance of different things. They grow different crops. They have different levels of abundance for different resources. But if you add a mindset of fear and lack to this, the belief that you must protect your abundance at all cost, you create even more scarcity. So think about that. So on top of that, resources might not be abundant, but if you try to hoard them and not share them like they're supposed to be, then you create even more scarcity. So, okay, I understand what she was saying. And I said, okay, so sometimes, we share some with the little that we have, but people take advantage of that. They like to live off the government, or they like to take advantage of the resources that are provided because they say some people have more than others, so they should share more. And I asked her, what do you think about those who take advantage of generosity, leaving others feeling violated? How should we respond? And her answer was, I love this answer because she said, giving from abundance doesn't mean giving without limits. It means offering help in a way that empowers others to cultivate their own abundance. So listen to that. Abundance comes from within. But sometimes, once in a while, we're going to need a little help for whatever reason, right? The problem is that the collective belief in lack, those who have little do not always appreciate what they're given. And those who have much believe that they must hoard in order to keep it. So either the people that have very little or that have their very much, they're both trapped in the same energy of scarcity. That's interesting, right? So just because we have a lot doesn't mean we have abundance. So that was an interesting concept. Okay. We can have millionaires that have a lot of money, but they feel very poor inside because their abundance actually has to come from within. And if they feel poor, no matter how much they hoard, they are going to feel poor. And the same thing, people that have very little, if they feel abundant in their heart in the way to manifest things, they will have a lot. So abundance is very relative to the person. But what Mother Earth wants to share is that she is our mother, and she will always will provide for us. And I was curious about that. And I asked her, what do you mean by that? And she reminded me of a time where people used to grow their own food, like in their gardens, in their yards, canning, store what they needed for the winter, and lived in balance with the land. You have forgotten this balance, she said. The scarcity you fear is of your own creation. That's interesting. The scarcity that you fear is something you have created. We have created our own reality. Humans have created lack by hoarding resources, over-consuming, and failing to prepare for the natural cycles of life. Okay? So Pachamama is calling us to return to basics, to start growing our own food again, and to share our harvests with each other. True abundance comes from Mother Earth. If you seek abundance, she says, you will find it. But you first must recognize the illusion of need. The world and society has taught you a false version of necessity. So there's a difference between what you need and what you want, you know? So let's think about that. What you truly need and what you want. She urges us to wake up, to remove the blinders of consumerism. You do not need processed foods made in labs. Your food should be made in the kitchen from ingredients nourished by the sun. That is how you heal yourself. That's how it was meant to be. Okay, food that remembers where it come from, fed by the sun. So how do we create these resources? How do we go about to do this? We have been some of us for generations, we haven't grown our food, right? And her answer was simple. You need to go back to being close to the earth, to grow your own food, to organize your communities, to organize with your friends. So grow this and I'll grow that, and then we'll share when the time comes. We'll trade, right? Stop believing the lie that everything requires immense effort. When you return to balance, you'll always be provided for. Stay close to me, she continued. When you interact with me, I will communicate with you. I will nourish you, I will guide you, and I will give you wisdom. Listen to that. The wisdom comes with working with the plants, with the earth, with our food. Our wisdom comes from that. And she reminded me also that the elements of nature are here to support us. Okay, so when we work with the earth, when we walk barefoot on the earth is going to recharge us and sustain us. Okay, so think about that as you walk on your grass, on your land, barefoot, or just touch the earth with your hands. The earth is supposed to recharge you, and it's going to help if you have the intention to do so. The water washes away toxic emotions. So water, the other element, the flow, the rivers, being around water, being submerged in water is supposed to wash away our toxic emotions. So every time you're in water or close to water, allow that water to just carry away those emotions that are just kind of festering inside. Kind of think of terms like when water gets um, settled in one particular place, like in the river, when the water is running low and it doesn't flow, it gets stagnant, right? Emotions are the same way. If we don't allow them to flow, they get stagnant and they kind of makes us feel all icky inside. So water washes away all that. Now let's allow water to wash away our toxic emotions. The wind clears what no longer serves us, right? Just imagine the wind just kind of sweeping away what not, but it's on the surface, it needs to go away, right? But at the same time, the wind, when we think about it, the, the throat chakra, it's related to the wind, to the ability to speak our truth. Not the truth that we're being taught by the news, not the truth that we're being taught by whatever society we're born into, our own truth. Allow your own truth to come forward, which may be very different than the truth that you live in, the reality you live in, your own truth. And you know that, you feel it. But sometimes it's hard to express yourself. So allow this element to allow you to bring that forward, to release that. And then finally, the fire. Fire. The element of fire transforms and propels us forward in our evolution. It makes us evolve. So one of the things that I do is sometimes I take a little stick and I say, I am feeling this um, emotion or this feeling or this relationship that no longer serves me anymore. I just put it into a stick, it could be a little a long match, or a little wooden stick, and just blow whatever you're ready to let go into the stick and just put it in the fire. Put it in the fire, and that alchemical reaction is going to be felt in your body. You're going to feel it, and you're going to feel like you are letting go. So fire is so important, also to remove those emotions and to move forward to the person that we're supposed to be. Pachamama is always talking to you. It's always communicating with you. It is time that we listen finally, and I hope that you like this message. I'm going to continue sharing more information as I get, communicating with Pachamama. The times are changing. We really are in a wonderful time, but it feels very shaky right now. It's just so crazy. But I trust that things are going to improve. I trust and I know that our mother is always going to be there to protect us. Never, never doubt that. And I want to just leave you with a little prayer. May you and your family be protected with our dear mother. May you and your animals, your pets, your plants, your home, and all of that is needed for you be provided by our dear mother. And may you be always be blessed by the sun and protected by the elements. And may you be always be in alignment with your true self, your higher self. And may you receive all the love and nourishment that you need. Sending you all my love and blessings. Aho. Stay in touch. Click subscribe if you like these messages, and I hope to see you again. Take care. Bye.